Hey folks, today's video is a two-part video. First thing we're going to do is talk about cards. What cards are good, what stats are good, and what you should strive for when building your card set. Second part of this video is a complete ass kicking of Black Dwarf. And the reason we're going to do that is because I know not everybody was, but I was around when Black Order first dropped, and Black Dwarf used to beat my head in every time he came up. And so now I just like beating the crap out of him. It just fulfills a part of my life that I can't get anywhere else. It's like watching a little kid take down his bully. So first thing we're going to do is talk about cards. Alright, these are the cards I have equipped. I'm going to go ahead and show you my card effects. So, got a lot of all attack, some energy attack, defense pins pretty good, cooldown time not great. It's good enough for me for right now. Now, according to the Korean gaming community of this game, there are optimal card stats that you want to get, and we all know how good the Koreans are at this game. Yeah. They pretty much win the Alliance Tournament every week. Look, the top 3 out of the 4 teams in the Alliance Tournament, Korean. They're good, which is not surprising. Koreans are always good at video games. So, for cards, the Korean gaming community suggests and recommends these stats for your cards. And once you have these stats, they consider this a completed card set that does not need to be messed with anymore. So for them, the optimal stats they suggest are 20% attack speed, 30% all attack, 30% defense penetration, 20% movement speed, and 30% cooldown time. Now, 30% cooldown time, the max on cooldown time is 50%. Well, if your alliance is level 30, you get a 14% boost to your cooldown time that applies to all game modes, Shadowland and World Boss included. So, getting your cooldown time to 30%, plus you get the 14% from your alliance bonus, leaves you just 6% shy of the 50% total max, which you can get from your character's native gears if you roll skill cooldown in their 4th gear. Defense pen 30%, that's a good stat to have because of World Boss, and it used to be a good stat because of Alliance Battle before they changed it, but the higher Frost Beasts in Alliance Battle would have massive amounts of defense, so defense penetration was a must-have stat. Still is because of World Boss. If you want to beat Infinity Thanos, you want to have 30% defense penetration. Can you beat him without it? Yeah, you could. But the more you have, the more likely you are to beat him and do a lot more damage to him. All attack, just 30%, just to boost your attack rating. Attack speed and movement speed are good skills to have because the faster you move, the more likely you are to escape getting hit by attacks. And attack speed actually helps with your DPS, getting more damage per second out there the higher your attack speed is. You don't want resists in any of your cards. I have 2 cards that have resists in them. Those are garbage stats. You do not want them. I have some dodge. I like having some dodge in my cards. It's not an optimal stat, but I feel like it helps a little bit. If you dodge attack, you're obviously lessening your chances of getting hit. So, with that being said, these are the cards I use. The Secret Wars 2099 and the Punisher both have defense penetration as a native stat, which is why I use them. The Loki card is probably the most important card in Marvel Future Fight. It is the best card because of all attack and cooldown time being the native stats. Those are 2 huge stats that you want. This card could be better if it had no resist in it and had some skill cooldown, or not skill cooldown, but defense penetration in it, it would be better. But I'm not going to re-roll a 7 grade card, 7 quality. This one's a good one because it has cooldown time as a native stat. I was lucky to get all attack and energy attack in there. It's very hard to roll those stats in that card. It's littered with resists. The only way it could be better is if I had some defense penetration in it. This is a good card because it has all attack as a native stat. I'm not going to re-roll that because it has good stats. Not the best, not optimal, but it's not worth re-rolling. So those are some of the better cards. There's also this Punisher card, which also has defensive penetration as a native stat. It's a little harder to get. You can get I think you can get it from someone who runs a Dimension Rift with a high VIP level. It may drop in there. You can also get it from buying card chests and the Honor Shop. Honor Shop chests and card chests, I believe you could get this card out of. This is one of the harder cards to get. I don't think it drops from Rifts. It may drop from the Honor Chest. I'm not completely sure. But the best bet is to buy card chests from the shop. This card will come out of there. Also with the Thor card, I believe that's an honor, not an Honor Shop, but a shop card. A card chest will drop these. So those are the stats. That's what I use. Like I said, what's recommended is 20% attack speed, 30% all attack, 30% defense penetration, 20% movement speed, and 30% cooldown. That is what the Korean gaming community considers a complete set of cards that no longer needs to be upgraded. So unlike tunes, which you are always going to be putting money into tunes because there's always going to be more tunes. Like, they're always going to come out with new characters. You're always going to be putting money into characters. But cards are something that you can actually complete and leave alone. And that is a huge advantage for newer players. One of the first things I would do as a new player is try to get Loki and try to get Sharon Rogers. Get a few tunes that you know can beat some world bosses. Loki being one, Sharon Rogers being another. And then work on your cards. You want to get your card stats up. And that will help you take down world bosses if you are a new player. Some people start working on them and then they quit because it's a lot of gold, it's a lot of resources, and all you're doing is farming Dimension Rifts. But once you get them to where they are set, you don't have to mess with them anymore. They're done. Whereas characters, you're always going to be working on. So work on your cards. They're a huge advantage. And so now we're going to go kick the crap out of Black Dwarf, just because he used to kick the crap out of me. So we're going to beat his head in. You know, when we're going to use Sharon Rogers. When Sharon Rogers first came out, everyone was so salty about her existence and how OP she was. And you know what I say? Good. I'm glad she's OP. I'm glad that there's a character that I can get and completely decimate this fool with. Was so happy when she came out. And there are ways to counter her. Like, of course, now we have Doctor Strange, who's more OP than Sharon Rogers. But she is still the top female character and one of the top 5 characters in this game. And I love it. I would not trade my Sharon Rogers for anything. Balance who needs it. I say give me the tunes that will rock the world boss's heads. So we're going to go with Agent 13 for the team up. Actually, let's do Captain America. He gives more team up bonuses. Get some all attack, all defense, some crit damage. We're going to go with that. This is going to be a cakewalk, guys. Like I said, I'm just doing this because I like destroying Black Dwarf for all those times that he absolutely destroyed me. You can go 10% damage increase to supervillain types. Back when the world bosses first dropped, I believe comic cards were also dropped in the same update. But back then we didn't have Tier 2. We didn't have Shayrog. So beating this guy when he first dropped was like a Herculean feat. And to be able to beat him 5 times was just crazy in my mind, because I couldn't beat him once. It took me forever to beat this guy. But not now, big dog. Your time has come. Of course, now I can beat him 5 out of 5 every week, but I just like decimating him. It just feels good at this point for all the times. So here we go. Already through the first phase. Yeah, get mad, son. Get mad, bruh. This fight is already over. You just don't know it. Oh, I wanted to beat him before he got to that last phase, but didn't have a skill. Dead. How's that feel? 30 seconds. Used to take me 5 minutes to beat that guy. Now, 30 seconds. So yeah, hail to the SR, baby. Love Sharon Rogers. Best thing Netmarble ever put in this game, until Doctor Strange. We're going to do it one more time, just for nostalgia. I'm just going to beat on his head one more time, just kind of like a little, fuck you, Black Dwarf. Remember me? Yeah. Now it's my turn. Who do we want for team up? We're going to go Black Dwarf and Spider-Man. Get some team bonuses. And we're going to beat on his head again. You know, this may seem a little vindictive, and you're right, it is. But what the hell? I'm a vindictive person. I hate bosses that, you know, just kick the living crap out of you the first couple of times you play them until you finally figure it out, or, you know, you get that one thing or character that can just decimate them. Yeah. Then I'm a happy camper. But I can't stand losing and losing and losing. But then when I get the means, it's on after that. Oh yeah, look at the damage. Take it, Black Dwarf. Oh yes, 16 seconds. Oh, it feels so good. Feels phenomenal. Oh, and look at the ISO. 6-star ISO, yes. All right, guys. Well, you know what? They say end on a high note, and I think that will be the end of this video. So just remember what I said about the card stats. Get those cards up, guys, and you'll be beating them down.